sushi.
10-4. These pants are stinky.
I'm sorry to hear that. Ladies and gentlemen, episode 21 of the Chill Prison Podcast. We're legal.
We are legal, and I think it's episode 22, but we'll find out when things get answered.
Yeah, it's definitely 21.
All right.
Either that or Jake will put the correct number in place for me.
I'm not sure he listens to the whole thing.
What do you mean?
Do you think he listens to everything?
No.
Because we had a big scare with the last release that I just didn't even tell him about. I just fixed it on my own.
How are we supposed to grow and learn if we're never made aware of our mistakes?
That was a mistake. I was like, that mistake was literally on me. It was me who said the thing that needed to be cut out.
It was yours, and it was an intentional.
Yeah.
So don't.
Yeah.
Let's frame it correctly. You made an intentional that you thought that the net would catch.
Yeah. The net has holes, and you know what? For my sake, it probably should have holes, to be honest. And you'll never know what it was because I cut out a big, 30-second chunk.
Sorry, guys.
I'm not.
So, anyhow, what do you got for us today?
Safety cone implies the existence of a danger cone.
Thank you, Russell. So, we got a nice choice of brews today.
Brewskis?
1, 2, or 3?
3.
Hell yeah. Go ahead and mispronounce this for the ladies and gentlemen.
Let's see. Weihenstephaner. Weihenstephaner.
And Vitus? I don't know what that means.
That's fetus.
With an F?
Yeah, in German I'm assuming it's German because the E is before the I. In Weihenstephaner, in German the V makes a F sound.
That's weird.
So
and in Spanish, the V makes a B sound.
Yeah. Yeah, English is the actual one that sucks though.
Yes. Yes, I don't think anyone will disagree.
Yeah, so in German the F makes the V sound. The V makes the F sound. The W makes the V sound. And the V makes the W sound.
Informative.
And that's your German lesson for today. Is this a twist off or am I going to break my finger?
You will break your finger.
Oh, yeah.
I may need... Wait, no. I might have something. I'm going to use a stainless steel guitar tool because I think it might work.
I literally put keys on my key ring, and those keys are in the pants that I soiled 5 minutes ago. What did I say?
I don't want any clarification for the soiling, by the way.
I put a bottle opener on my key ring for that's what. Let me rephrase what I just said because I'm pretty sure I didn't say any of the words I meant to. I literally 2 weeks ago found my favorite bottle opener, put it on my key ring. Those keys are sitting in the pants that are sitting on the bed because I soiled those pants with our next brew to review.
I like how you bailed me out of this one. You were so... I was ready to fail because normally I'll provide the brews because this is just kind of one of the things I like to do. And,
no, I wasn't bailing you out. I bought a tall boy and a Four Locos pregame. Spoiler alert.
a bum wine.
Yeah, a bum wine. I was planning on finishing those myself before you got here. I lost track of time.
It's literally called pregame.
Yeah.
By Four Loko. I love that.
So, dude, I feel so fucking...
Should we... Let's share why I felt like you were bailing me out.
What?
Let's okay,
Both
so
of our
I'm normally,
licenses are expired.
yeah. And I
Fuck
pride
COVID.
myself on being a responsible young adult. This just slipped through my fingers. I was robbed.
Like coming in your hand. It just
the kid
slid right through your fingers.
Right.
Sorry, listener who's tall and has a beautiful voice. I know you probably don't appreciate the cum jokes.
It has been a shit show. So my license expired on the 31st of the previous month,
Right.
and my attempt at getting the replacement license was like 10 days prior,
Mm-hmm.
and the tag agency was closed that day, so I was like, whatever, I'll do it the next day.
Yeah.
I just didn't feel like doing it the next day, so
Yeah.
I was down to 9 days. Then I go, whatever. I think it's the weekend or something like
hold
that,
on,
so
let
I
me
don't go to
explain
tag
something.
agency.
Let me explain something to our. So for our northern United States listeners, a tag agency
It's the DMV.
is
My bad.
like the DMV without all the waiting. So in Oklahoma, where we live, they privatized certain things involved in the DMV. So you go to a place called the tag agency, which is literally just a business that has all the specifications, all the things that a DMV does, minus a few things. The DMV is like the king. Tag agency are the lords, right?
Yeah,
And the lords, they take care of license renewal, license plate renewal, all getting your fucking sticker and shit when you first get a car, all that stuff. Where the DMV just mostly keeps track of the records and is in charge of like the initial licensing of a person, right?
Yeah, and I think they also communicate with law enforcement in regards to titling. So
Yeah.
they're the ones who the cops
They're
are
like
getting information
they're like a
from.
franchise. They're like
Yeah,
a
and then
DMV franchise.
Yeah, the tag agencies are the franchisees.
Yeah, so
that
'cause
makes
up
sense.
in Wisconsin, where I was from, there's no fucking such thing as a tag agency. That, or I just have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. All I know is I always had to go to the DMV.
Every time.
Yeah, and it was like a 6-hour.
It's an ordeal.
It was. Jake, give me a chicken cluck for when I say. He's not.
And then for the second one, give him a quack.
But yeah, like it was. But yeah, so you go to the tag agency, it's closed. Tell them what's going on because of COVID and the real ID.
So it's two things. This is a twofold bit of fuckery. The first thing is that Oklahoma's driver's license haven't been real ID compliant.
So back in 2014, the federal government they issued a bill. I think it was 2015. They issued a bill
that required all states.
It wasn't a requirement. It was an outline for every state to progress into a government-issued identification system.
Yeah.
There's a chip in there.
Strict requirements.
So before then, it was state by state. The states were in charge of IDs, right? And then around 2014, the government wanted states to instead implement a federal identification system instead of a statewide, which in some aspects makes sense. But for me, that really pisses me off because I hate that. I hate having a license. I hate having to tell the government that I'm somewhere anytime at all. So like But no, I'm not a Republican. No, I'm not a Democrat. No, I'm not a fucking Libertarian. No, I'm not a fucking Green Party. Like I am.
Don't want someone watching you.
Yeah, I'm 100% against any type of Big Brother bullshit. Like, and so, and I agree. Like, you should get certified. And who's going to certify you to drive? Well, whoever makes the laws that you have to follow to drive, the government. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a weird thing for the government to go, well, we've been issuing these for state. Like, state's been in charge of that forever.
Mm-hmm. And then now
you know what? No, we're in charge now. It's like, what? Why? Terrorism doesn't happen in the United States anymore. Okay, what is it? What's the opposite of domestic? Foreign terrorism.
Imported.
Foreign terrorism. What was the last foreign terrorist attack? The nightclub shooting in Florida? What was that, 2014, 15?
Was that from an outside?
Yeah, it was ISIS.
Agent? Oh, okay.
So it was a domestic guy, but because he was ISIS or domestic group,
okay.
I think they lived here, but but like all this shit's happening because of 9/11, right? It's just a slow thing that's been going on, right?
Yeah.
The fucking TSA started, fucking Homeland Security started. Well, now this federal ID system. If you don't have a federal ID system starting in the next year or so, if you don't have a real ID, which is the federal identification, you cannot fly even domestically without a passport.
Which is a little weird, but
it's a little weird. It makes sense logically, but in my
it's not the American spirit.
Yeah, it's just and I have to go.
You have to detach
wait,
it.
Wait, hold on. Planes fly everywhere. Like I just have to go. Wait, hold on. Planes go other places than the United States. I'm not going to go anywhere else because I don't like going on planes because it's cramped and gross. But planes in general, they do go to other countries, so that would make sense, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but like in my brain, I'm like, no, you can't know what I'm doing. You can't know where I am. Fuck you.
Yeah. It's like that weird guy who thinks he's your boss at work who comes up and asks you what you're doing in an accusatory tone. Like, even if I'm doing my regular job, get the fuck away from me.
Hold on. Speaking of bosses.
What? What happened?
Since the last time we recorded an episode, you became my boss at work.
I think this has been a thing for a while, though. I don't...
No, maybe it was the Monday prior to the last recording. Because we didn't record last week, but I have been on for 3 weeks now. Or sort of.
I have not even been keeping track.
But yeah, no, now Ben is my boss.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's a weird dynamic.
You know what? No. You're my boss at work, but I'm your boss and you're my boss at podcast.
Just the anger finger pointing circle can perpetuate in both directions here.
No, we just both together point our fingers at Jake.
It's like, fuck.
God damn it, Jake.
Fix my fuck ups.
What would to fucking where we are right now, we just released episode 10. We're on episode 21. What if when this episode comes out, Jake's not even, he's giving up on us? Like, he's like, nah, I'm dead. I'm not fucking with you guys anymore.
I don't know. I feel like he can lock in. I feel like he has those take things. He can do it.
Yeah, but like there's a difference between locking in and like just,
getting overwhelmed.
Yeah, learning how to do a job. But then getting to the point where you've like, I'm comfortable in the actual, like, I know how to do this, but also why the fuck am I doing this for these idiots? Like that, I guarantee he'll get to that point before we release this episode.
Yeah. Some of the things that we talk about, it's kind of hard. I could see where someone would struggle to maintain respect for the host of this podcast. I get it.
Just, is Jake like all white?
He might be native a little.
Okay. I'm just trying to think, like, am I going to offend him?
Probably not.
Because, like, with my thing that I had to cut out, I was like, oh, shit. That gives you a little hint, because it'd be obvious if it was the N-word now. It wasn't.
Yeah, Jake's black. This is the
yeah, he's
nice
as black
guy.
as night, and I just said the N-word with a hard R. Just expecting him to cut it out. Yeah, that's
oh boy.
No.
The power we give that man.
Dude, I'm feeling like really good. I think that just last week non-recording really fucking pumped me up for today.
It juiced you up.
Oh, yeah.
You've been edged so completely. But continuing off of the thing I was saying, with the ID things, it's like someone who is your coworker, your peer, not even your supervisor, coming up and asking you, like, what are you doing? In an accusatory tone. Yeah. I don't take well to that.
Yeah.
For a couple of reasons.
Well, it's like, okay, it's like our dynamic. You're my supervisor, but then there's a manager above you,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
And it would be like if the manager came to me specifically and was like, "Hey, what are you doing right now? You not doing anything?" Okay. Without talking to you first.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. The state would be my supervisor, federal government's the manager. And the federal government's like, well, the state's not doing it. So I'm going to do it for the state without giving the state any like, hey, you need to pick up the pace. You need to do your shit.
Except they did. I mean, in this direct scenario, they did, but I still get that same aggravation as if it were that
after
they
after they issued the bill, because for Oklahoma specifically, the
never
government
became mandatory.
has given them so many chances to get this shit put together. Because the deadline was like 2015 or 2016.
Yeah.
And Oklahoma was just like, we don't have the fucking money to do that. So they just didn't. And the government's like, okay, we'll give you till next summer. Next summer hit. And Oklahoma's like,
nah.
No, we still can't do it, sorry.
Actually, it worked.
Now we have it's a law in the federal books. Oklahoma has to be ready to present federal IDs by, I think it's like next month, May or something like that.
It's October.
By October.
Yeah.
Of 2021. Or there will be huge fucking fines.
Yeah.
Huge penalties.
And even then, we're still not fully rolling it out.
No. The thing, that's what I was going to get at earlier. It's with the fucking... So, both to explain, both of our state-issued IDs have expired now. Mine expired in February, and yours expired this month.
A few days
ago, right?
Yeah.
You can't just, because of COVID, you can't walk into a tag agency
and just get the job done.
And even prior to the state, even if the real ID thing didn't exist, you can't just walk in and renew a regular ID.
Right. Because
they have to limit the amount of, like the one down the street from here, from the studio, is where I went to go get, after I bought that car. Mm-hmm. I had to get the plates for it. When I went in, I got fucking yelled at.
What?
And they're like, you no more than 2 customers in the store, or in the thing or whatever. And I was like, okay. And I admit I didn't see the sign, the thing posted out front. I didn't see it.
But it's because it's not that big of a deal to you. I mean, you're just thinking about
I'm just gonna go get my tag. I didn't realize it.
Exactly.
And so, but because of those types of restrictions, what they're doing now is they're making people get appointments.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting I did not realize. I should have realized, because of the lines at the DMV up north, that tag agencies suffer from sort of the same thing. Let me put it into perspective. We are now in April, right? So this episode is going to come out in like 10 months or whatever.
Yeah.
But we are in April when we're recording this. I scheduled an appointment, because that's what you have to do now.
Mm-hmm.
At a tag agency to get my real ID. And the next available appointment is October 8th. I scheduled that mid-March. I could not get in anywhere until October 8th.
Okay. After we're done recording, I'll give you a spot where you can actually get a much closer
I mean, I already paid. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, that's the second part.
These fucking places are they're making you pay for a spot.
Yeah, the appointment fee was like $10 for me.
Yeah, mine was $5, I think. But the actual ID is like $120 or some shit. Like, it's super expensive.
Way.
It's not that expensive, but it's ridiculous. Like, a regular renewal when it's
like
not expired is like $25.
Yeah.
When it is expired, it's $40. And now with
and you just pay for your lack of I guess discipline or responsibility.
You pay a fucking responsibility tax.
Yep.
Yeah, but you can't. But the federal ID somehow costs more. It's the same shit.
There are a few more things that they've added to it.
How much does it cost? No, fuck.
It doesn't reflect the cost.
No,
it doesn't reflect
absolutely
the change in
not.
cost.
Absolutely not. It does maybe reflect the cost of the infrastructure that the NSA had to implement to track the chip that's inside that card to make sure that everybody's where they're supposed to be according to their social credit score. Fuck, Shackleford is coming out.
Oh.
Like, it bothers me so much.
They have a locating chip inside the card.
Snowden, he was there. He existed. And the government was just like, we don't remember that. And also, here, you got to have this card that tells me where you are.
Ooh.
Fuck you.
Spicy.
and I'm going to roll over because I can't fucking buy alcohol except for the one gas station that knows me.
Yeah.
Because most chain gas stations, they scan your fucking ID.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've been trying to avoid that. The gas station down there is real fucking loose. When I went there today, after I got home, I checked out. He goes, "You're 21, right?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm here all the time." He goes, "Oh yeah, I remember you." Okay. I didn't even have to show him my ID. Every single other place, except because in Oklahoma, or is it a federal law? I know in Oklahoma for energy drinks you have to be 18. 7-Eleven still cards people.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so fucking weird.
That's irritating. That's irritating because I live off of energy drinks. You know this.
Yeah, I fucking have a bang every morning.
Off of caffeinated energy drinks. And the first time, like I get them. I used to get them religiously every single morning before I'd come into work from 7-Eleven. And I was already running late one day, but I was having a shitty day.
Mm-hmm.
I was having a shitty start to my day. So I was like, whatever. I'm going to sprint there. I know exactly where the can is. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to run over to the register, and I'm going to pray to God that the card machine doesn't say chip error 8 times.
Yeah.
And when I get up there, I honestly just didn't have my ID on me.
Yeah.
It was just in the car. It was in my gym bag. I only had my bank card on me, and he asked me for an ID. Look at my facial hair and say, I look like I'm 30 when I have my facial hair.
No, you look like you're 24.
Okay, that's fair.
You're welcome, by the way. You're 20, what, you're 28. Oh, fuck, it's your fucking birthday. What are you, 20? You're 28?
28, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Right now, when you are listening to this, it will be Ben's birthday when this episode comes out. That's insane. Mark that on your fucking But anyway, yeah, you'll be 28 when this comes out. Anyway, yeah, you were saying.
So I was having a shitty day, and I didn't have an alcohol to my knowledge. You know, it was early in the morning. I was tired. I was like, I got up there, had my bank card. I was getting ready to pay. He asked me for my ID, and then I did a double take at the can to make sure it wasn't like a misplaced.
Tall boy?
Yeah, a tall boy of like Bud Light or something I accidentally grabbed. Like, man, my day must have been really shitty so far if I did that. And no, it was just a Bang energy drink.
Yeah.
I'm peaking like crazy. I'm so angry
it's
right now.
It's okay. We're gonna call this episode Furious.
I was so mad, and I, because I didn't understand what was happening. I turned the can and it said must be 18 to purchase.
Yeah,
so
I
this
guess
is the first time.
Maybe I think it is a federal law because I think it came out the same time the tobacco law turned to 21.
Yeah.
But it fucking. First of all,
I was pissed.
I can't go to 7-Eleven until October.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a valid ID. The only place I can go is the gas station downstairs from my apartment and the on queue that I go to every morning because I know the lady that works there.
Yeah.
Because I have seen her and bought something from her every single morning for the past 2 years. But if I go anywhere else, any other chain fucking gas station,
you're going to get denied.
They try to scan my ID. My ID will say it's invalid. Motherfucker.
I'm too old for this shit.
The only way I get a make living is by drinking this and being able to get to my job.
So imagine my anger and frustration when I have the money. I'm ready to go. I'm already running late and I don't have time for this. And he asked me for my ID and I don't have it. I just fucking put I was an asshole, I guess. I slammed, I had it in my hand because I was getting ready to just pay with my card. I just put it back down on the counter and I just get in my car and I just leave.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
I was
that poor kid's
so
probably
pissed.
He's
doing his job.
Yeah, no, I don't blame
He's
them.
He's doing his job.
But how demeaning is it because I've had this happen to me. For some reason, I didn't have my ID. This was before my license expired. This was 2 years ago. I went into 7-Eleven. I bought a Bang, or I grabbed a Bang. I didn't buy it. I went up to the register, and it was like a 13-year-old fucking kid, motherfucking child labor laws or something. He didn't have a fucking hair on his body, except for the top of his head.
Bald as a dolphin.
Yeah. He asked for my ID. I was like, okay, and I pull out my wallet, and my ID is not in there. I don't know why I had taken it out the night previous. I don't know. But he was like, well, I can't sell you that. I'm like, motherfucker, I could change your diapers. And I'm 22 years old. Now I'm 23, but like I could, like, what the fuck? Like, I never felt more like a fucking old man.
Yeah. So when I see the old guy that just grumbles in frustration and anger and just like walks away, shuffles away angrily, I get that. I feel that part of me
Because he went
blossoming.
through that when they legalized, or
when they raised the tobacco age to 21.
yeah, well, in Wisconsin where I grew up, this was I don't know the date that the change was made, but Wisconsin was one of the last states to change their age of alcohol from 18 to 21. Okay. So like people in Minnesota and
they would drive in.
The UP would cross the border to buy alcohol because it was 18.
Right.
I cannot imagine. Like I understand the frustration now when the age changed.
Yeah. Imagine being caught in the cusp of that. Imagine smoking just long enough to develop a dependence on nicotine and then having that rug pulled out from under you and being forced to quit cold turkey or bum cigarettes off of your adult coworkers.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
It's so fucking weird, dude. We worked with a kid who was in the National Guard. He had joined up with the National Guard while he was working there.
Like
he doesn't work there
frontline
anymore.
Stuff. He was planning on he was kind of crazy. He was ready to give up his life.
He was a fucking weirdo.
For
country. He's not fucking bum ass motherfucker. Like he's a whole story we could tell.
Yeah.
But he was in the National Guard. He went to basic and he was a spry child.
Yeah. Nubile. Nubile is a term that we
just 18. Just 18.
Nubile.
And he goes to fucking basic. And when
he won't say the word.
Yeah, nubile. And when he comes back from basic, he's smoking like a pack a day.
Yeah.
Just turned 18. And then like a month after he came back from basic was when the law changed. Can you imagine being in that position? He had never smoked before.
Yeah.
He developed that nicotine habit.
And that was his crutch at stress management.
Because of the service he did to his country. Now, I'm not a huge Ted Cruz supporter, but one good point that Ted Cruz made when that bill got passed was when you're 18, you're old enough to go get killed at war, but not to smoke tobacco.
You know, and I don't understand what our Congress team, our Senate, is doing right now because they're also considering changing the voting age to 16.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
You didn't know about that?
They should change that shit to 25.
They're trying to change the voting age to 16 and the smoking drinking age to 21. What is happening? They're just doing things to do things, it seems.
In Europe, or at least Germany, the drinking age is 18. Driving age is 21.
So it gives you some time to develop.
Maybe the drinking age is 16. It's 16 because I would have been. My German teacher does a co-op field trip every other. I don't think he works there anymore. Did a co-op field trip with another school, another German class.
Yeah.
Every other summer or something like that, where they go to Germany, and he has to give a statement to his students, you cannot drink. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 16.
Mm-hmm.
And their driving is 18 or 21 or something like that.
It was explained to me in a pretty cool way.
Their drunk driving statistics are so much lower than ours because people understand the effects of alcohol sooner.
Yeah, and their penalties for fucking up driving are much more severe.
Personally, I think all substances should be decriminalized and then after the age of 25. Prior to the age of 25,
the ability to actually form and be
at 25,
sound.
Statistically, the average brain has progressed to the point where it will, or the average prefrontal cortex has progressed to the point where it will no longer. And it is at its peak. You are a fully developed
brain,
prefrontal cortex.
Right.
And I believe that. And then prior to 25, it should be a criminal offense. Not treated in the way where you get fucking
incarcerated
for life for an ounce of fucking weed, especially if you're black. But like to a point where you get punished and they figure your shit out. You get a chance to figure your shit out. But like what I'm saying is I think the drinking age should be 25. I think that it should be a flat thing. I think it's ridiculous that we can drink that weed's illegal, but we can give ourselves lung cancer federally.
Right.
That's so fucked up. That is the number one thing. Like my skin is the whitest it could be, and that is the one thing that I go, yeah, that's fucking racist. And you want to know why? Because black people were slaves. What is happening?
I don't know. We're hearing tapping. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pause real quick and we'll be right back. All right, we're back.
So what I was saying is like the tobacco thing, the tobacco lobby thing is super racist. They're using slavery because the whole entire tobacco market is based on slavery.
Really?
Yeah, fucking plantations, man.
I hadn't pieced it together.
This is something because I'm a huge fucking marijuana supporter. I don't smoke it because I'd lose my job, but like I would love to get off of my SSRI. Like I would fucking love it, but I can only do the fucking bad drug that's legal because marijuana is illegal. Fuck. But yeah, so plantations were the number one. Tobacco plantations were the number one thing slaves did back in the days was slavery. And now it's such a big thing. The lobbyists for big tobacco are so powerful because of the work that slaves did, because of the free labor, that they can force marijuana out. That's why marijuana is illegal, is because of the tobacco lobbies and the paper lobbyists.
Yeah.
Because hemp paper is cheaper and easier to produce than regular paper, and it's better for the environment. But it's a whole thing. Listen to Joe Rogan. I don't give a fuck. Tobacco is another huge piece. And so when I hear fucking politicians, this is why I say I'm not a big Ted Cruz supporter, because the words I had mentioned earlier about, the whole going to war, but you can't smoke, that's fucked up. But you're also getting money in your pocket from
Philip
some
Morris
guy who fucking supports just tobacco and will do everything in his power to not let marijuana be a thing, because statistics don't lie. People who start smoking marijuana smoke tobacco less. Marijuana has 99% less negative effects. Why did this turn into a drug podcast?
I don't know.
I got to talk about my fucking Widow's Peak.
Okay. All right. We will definitely talk about that. So I'm going to finish up the last two things in Oklahoma. Yeah, we weren't Real ID compliant for a long ass time. Now we're sprinting because we're hitting the deadline. We're running out of time. So now you have to set up appointments. I didn't realize that. And also with COVID, we have a lower amount of occupancy.
Well, the
per
people
building.
that didn't, because the federal government made that law, only tag agencies that were making enough revenue to afford the equipment to make the Real ID were able to supply the Real ID.
Yeah.
So most tag agencies nowadays don't have the equipment, so they cannot renew your license.
Yeah. So, I came back there 5 days before. I had all my documentation before it expired. I went in there, and they said, there were like 4 people inside the tag agency, 4 customers. There were 5 people working the place. Everyone else was just kind of hanging out. And that group of 4 was just one family, translating for a Vietnamese elderly guy who was just trying to get his license updated. Mm-hmm. So there was one other customer other than me in there, and they were saying the whole time, hey, we can't take you in except by appointment. So that was frustrating.
That's so fucked up.
That's bureaucracy at its finest. And so I'm 4 days from my deadline, and they tell me, like, you're going to have to set up an appointment, and we can't guarantee it's not going to be past the expiration date of your license, which creates another layer of struggles. So I ended up actually, the one day before my license expired, filling out an online license request.
For a
and I'm
state
just
ID.
Yeah, for state ID. It's not real ID compliant, so
Yeah.
I won't be able to fly without hassles. But it was still a current valid ID
See,
by the time I sent all the stuff in, so I've avoided a lot of headaches there.
we are in a physical Venn diagram. I refuse right now to purchase the $40 renewal
Yeah.
for my regular state ID, which will be completely unusable in a couple months.
Yeah.
Because this is stupid. And I talked to my personal lawyer, and he told me, he said, and this is not law advice, this is law advice that was given to me by my own personal lawyer. He said, if you have, because I told him, I was told by a tag agent person that if I have the appointment confirmation,
This will serve as a functioning.
there is leniency when I get pulled over.
Okay.
Right? With that information, my lawyer told me personally, not telling everybody else, is not law advice. He told me he would personally go and get his he would get his renewal, his regular license renewed. He said, personally, I would go do that just to feel more secure. But if you were told that, that's on them.
Yeah.
If that's what's happening, and you don't want to pay that $40, don't pay that $40. That's what he told me. And so I'm not going to. I was told by my own lawyer.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Your own legal counsel.
Yeah, because I have clout. I'm so fucking full of clout. I have my own personal lawyer.
On retainer.
I can't tell you why, because it would fucking ruin the thing that the lawyer's involved. So it fucking, yeah. So fucking, yeah.
Yeah. So we both don't have valid IDs, and my cool brew reviews have been derailed. And I told Russell today that there was an expectation that I might not be able to get it, and to my surprise, he already had just alcohol ready to go. I thought it was like a really sweet moment where he's like, you know what, when you fall, I'll pick you up and I'll carry you.
No, I was just trying to get drunk before we recorded.
Yeah, that's what it was. All right, so before we go to the Octopus Highway story, go ahead and introduce our next brew.
This is Stone Cloud Brewing Company. Wait, hold on, stop.
Yeah.
We need to rate the last one.
Like
Best brew
scale?
ever, worst brew ever. That's how we rate these. Let's tell them what we thought, first of all.
It tasted kind of cinnamony, but not in a gross way.
I got, it just tasted
It
like
was spicy.
a Pilsner. A regular old macro brew with a little bit more, it was a little bit more hoppy. It was like an affluent Budweiser.
Yeah, a Budweiser for the wealthy?
Budweiser is a homeless terrorist.
Compared to
It
this.
tasted like more of a Coors, because I'm a Coors guy. It tasted like a Coors that had money. That's what it tasted like. A little bit more edgy.
Like a Miller?
But it was-
like the champagne of beer?
Yeah, it was. Fuck you. It tasted. It was like, you know, Coors is this guy, and he's just a regular dude, and then he's got an older brother who's just my older brother who's got a family, a good job, and he's not fucking a billionaire, but he can afford to buy a brand new car that is literally brand new. It came out the year he bought it. Like that, because that, yeah. So like he just went out and bought a fucking 2015 Civic the year after he got married.
Nice.
You know, that's what that brew was. So
Sounds
I'm
like-
gonna say best brew ever.
Best brew ever. I can get behind that.
Fuck yeah. So now we introduce a new brew. Stone Cloud Brewing Co. Bruce Lee. Bruce. It's Bruce Lee. BREUSEWS. Sorry, Lee. It's funny. I hate puns.
It's gonna kick you right in the taste buds.
Mosaic Double IPA. Fuck yeah, IPAs.
I hate IPAs.
I know, but I get drunk on them.
You could get drunk on Ram's piss.
Hey, you can fucking, yeah. But, you know, the faster you get drunk, the less money you have to spend.
That's also true.
It's philosophy, man.
Dude, there was one time I spent $10 on an 8-ounce glass of beer.
Fuck yeah.
3 times because I had 2 friends with me. It tasted like trash.
It sucks because like I've sat down at I think like 2 bars where I've just like okay, actually that's not true. I bought the first time I sat at a bar was at a fucking brewery. So I ordered like like whatever they had, whatever they suggested was their favorite.
Yeah.
Whoever was tending. But it was like they only served their own brand or whatever. Like physical bars, I've sat down at one where it's just like a free, business or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I ordered?
Bud Light.
Coupe F5. Because it was the first name on the list I recognized when I went, yeah, that's it. Bars, I'm an incel without all the woman hate shit. Like, I can't, like, every part of the personality of a fucking internet incel without all the fucking toxic bullshit. I'm so fucking shy when it comes to, like, things that I want to be a part of. Because, like, I was like, I want to go to a bar. Me and my wife went. I was like, I want to go to a bar. I literally asked for a cocktail menu. They're like, but that's not a thing.
Yeah.
He's like, all the beers that we have, they're written in chalk on this wall right here. And then if you want a cocktail, say it. I was like, I don't know cocktails. What, a fucking old school or whatever? What is it?
Yeah.
What
speakeasies?
No, what's the word? It's got an orange peel in it. I knew this. Like, yeah, like a fucking old fashioned. My wife apparently likes old fashions. Fucking
what?
It's weird, right?
What? That is not a friendly drink.
Right? It's fucking strong as shit.
Aggressive.
It's so fucking aggressive. But every time because there's this restaurant in town.
Yeah.
The fucking. I can't remember. I'll shout it out later because it's a great restaurant if I remember it. But there's this restaurant that we like to go to. Whiskey Cake. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Fucking.
I want to try this so bad.
The best hipster ass motherfucking restaurant. Oh my God, it's so good. I hope they open up new locations.
Yeah.
But we went to. I was like, I'll get a old fashioned because again, it's the first thing I reckon. I was like, I know that name, old fashioned. I was like, I'll get that. I've never tried one. It's literally just straight whiskey with an orange peel. That's what it tastes like. I'm like, this is not friendly to me. Like, yeah. I'll do shots of whiskey.
Right, but that is not an approachable sipper.
If you put whiskey in a glass, fuck you. Like, it's not a cocktail. Yeah. There's no cock or tail. It's just whiskey and an orange peel.
There's no dick in this.
But my wife fucking drank the whole thing. Like, I took one sip. I was like, and she noticed I was drinking it a little too slow.
Yeah.
She drank the whole fucking thing.
That is wonderful.
It's weird because she doesn't like whiskey.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the fucking name. I don't know. But anyway.
No, it's the whole package thing. When it comes to that, you have to just take it for what it is. You can try to break down stuff if you want to, but the drink is just supposed to be taken at face value for what it is.
If you go, you specifically, or anybody else, but I'm talking to you, Ben. If you go to Whiskey Cake, order a Winchester 85.
Okay.
I cannot find it on the internet. So I think it's maybe a home cocktail, a house cocktail or whatever.
Yeah.
So fucking good. So fucking good.
I'll have
I
to
can't even explain. It's so good. But anyway, yeah, like the one bar I went to, I order a fucking Coupe F5 because it's the first name I recognize. Like, it's so fucking embarrassing. And I order my wife because she asked me to order. I order my wife an old fashioned.
And then they gave you the wrong glass when they came back?
No, they gave her the old-fashioned, but you could just feel like, you're like, oh, your wife fucking drinks harder alcohol. I was like, no, I'm just nervous. I've never been to a bar. Accept me a little bit.
You know, the cool thing about...
Bitch.
No, dude. You will be very surprised at how welcomed you will be in any circle that you are interested in pursuing, but have never had any experience in. If you are sincere and inquisitive, if you come into something wanting to learn,
depends on the circle.
More often than not, you will be welcomed with open arms.
If it's a political circle, you'll never be accepted if you're trying to get in.
Well, yeah.
But like, I agree.
Why would you want to do that? So there are a couple like strong examples that come immediately to mind. One personal one for me is archery. I'd always been... I'd hunted. I'd been a deer hunter since I was incredibly young, and I've always enjoyed it. And then I had admired the bow hunters that I had seen, because it seems like a much more skilled art to me than marksmanship. Well, like, don't get me wrong, they require skill, but since I had been doing rifle hunting for so long, it's just been natural to me. Whereas there's been some mysticism attached to bow hunting and archery in general.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was really cool. I'd never been involved in it, and I went to ask questions, and I didn't know where to go, and I went to a buddy, and he said, "There's this old guy. He seems like an asshole, but he knows his shit." And it's like, fuck. And everyone was saying, like, I was shooting his bow. His was amazing. I was nailing some shots. And with mine, I couldn't hit the side of a barn.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying, your eyesight's misaligned. Like, you just need to go get it professionally set up. And I was like, oh, God. So I had this fear in my mind that I was about to get the rejection of, like, 1,000 angered gods cast upon me for going to the old wise man, and all the young kids who'd been shooting since they were 5, that are leaps and bounds beyond me. Like, I went there and I felt that for all of like 8 seconds. But I was just sincere to be like, I've never done this. I don't know what I'm doing, but it looks amazing and I am interested and I want to dive face first into this. He set it up, didn't say a word. I didn't have his approval or anything. He's like, go up to the line. And I was like, what? He's like, go up to the line. And I was like, okay. And then he said, draw. And I was like, okay. I just draw the bow. He like looks at it. He's like, all right, release. And he goes back and puts the bow in this weird jig, like flexes it open and starts throwing all these things on it, lining it up, has all these tools that I've never seen in my life. And that's part of my job, is to be into tools.
Yeah.
And he tosses me the bow back. He's like, go up to the line. And I was like, okay. And this time I pulled the bow back and it was like a brand new bow. I mean, this thing was ancient. I bought it used. And he gave me an arrow. He's like, all right, go ahead and fire this for me. He's like, no. And I'm like, what? I didn't know what I did. He's like, loosen your front hand. You're not trying to choke the thing. You're trying to fire it.
Oh.
So my front hand that holds the bow, I guess I was gripping it a little too hard. Like he could, I guess, just see that it was too tense. And so I just loosened it up. And then I like nailed the bullseye right in front of the guys. Like, that felt incredible. I'd never been able to do that with that bow. It's like, wow, this thing's cool. And he's like, all right, does that feel about right to you? And I said, I don't know what to expect. I've shot this thing about 4 times. He's like, huh. All right. And then his whole demeanor changed.
Yeah. He's like, I need to hug this person into my group.
And he showed me all the things that I needed to do, showed me like recommended things. He also steered me away from spending money on things I thought I needed just due to lack of experience. And he just genuinely welcomed me in, showed me a whole archery club. And I went over there, and that entire group was so welcoming. And it was all because I was willing to go out there and look like a fool. And I was very open with the fact that I just didn't know everything. I think as a young man, a lot of people expect you to come across in an arrogant manner and assume like you know everything. And I've met those young men that have acted that way and then turned into 40-something-year-olds, and I hate working with them.
Yeah.
But that happens all the time, and you have to embrace the fuck-ups. And like one of our managers, he had recently gotten into cycling, right?
Right.
That man probably hadn't even looked at a bike beyond the age of 12. And then he got back into it. But he was welcomed into the circle. And I think it's because like we're willing to say we don't know shit. And when it comes to bars and like smoking cigars, if you want to start that stuff up.
I love cigars.
Right. As long as you go in like with a sincere curiosity, a sincere wonder, I think that'll rekindle something in them that that has kind of faded over time. And they can kind of live vicariously through you and the things that they wish they had known and have an opportunity to share information about something they're passionate about.
Yeah.
So don't get intimidated when it comes to that stuff.
I've been trying. I had, when you saw me pick up my phone and start typing, I was typing in a note. I don't even care about that anymore because, like, I'll get into that later. You inspired me to talk about something else. I've been so engrossed in so many different fucking cultures and, like, niches on the internet.
Yeah.
And, like, everything that, like, I totally have, like, commentary on everything you just said. Like, with cigars. There are certain groups that treat you completely different as a new person than other groups.
Yeah.
And it also varies person to person, but, like...
And I'm speaking broad generalizations. You're going to find an asshole everywhere.
Of course,
and by the law of averages, you're guaranteed to find an asshole.
Of course. Like, gun culture. That's hard to get into if you... Jesus. If you grew up in a home that's against guns and all that stuff and you go, I want to try. That's definitely hard to get into. It only takes specific types of people to accept a liberal person into their culture. It's like, that. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? You're wanting people to accept guns. Why wouldn't you fucking go, anybody that wants to try a gun who was against it, you should accept them.
Yeah.
Cigar culture is so fucking open. It, like, I went to the cigar lounge in Tulsa, Oklahoma for my first anniversary. We stayed in Tulsa.
Nice.
And I had never smoked a cigar before in my life. Well, does a cigarello count as a cigar? Okay, so then I've never smoked a cigar in my life. And I wanted to try a cigar. So the cigar lounge in Tulsa, it's a bar, a regular bar, but then they have a humidor with a bunch of cigars.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, I want to try something I've never tried. And she walked me through everything.
Yeah.
The nicest person. Looked like a fucking white trash bitch. Not going to lie. Fucking walk me. Like, the nicest, most accepting person. Like, you can come in. We want more people.
Yeah.
Speaking of cigars, I think I'm about at my fucking yearly allowed to smoke a cigar.
Really?
Yeah.
We actually have a cigar lounge here in Oklahoma that opened up in our area. I think south of you a mile.
There's a place
I think.
There's a place here in town called I was like Tobacco Exchange or some shit. Mm-hmm. But they have pretty big. Last time I smoked one, they had. I went in there. They're pretty good. But yeah, like it depends on the culture that you're trying to get into.
Yeah, I mean there are definitely going to be some exceptions,
especially with the generational gap between. Like fucking, you talk about millennials and Gen Z. Just inside of Gen Z, there needs to be like some splitting going on because
so much has changed.
I'm Gen Z,
yeah,
according to Wikipedia or whatever.
Yeah, I
am not like the fucking people who were seniors the year after I graduated. We have nothing in common. Absolute, our fucking memes are different. I don't understand these motherfuckers. Like their humor doesn't make any sense. They're fucking weird. What is lit, fam, bro? Like it doesn't compute. Now, I guess lit's kind of old now, but like fucking, what's the new one? No cap. Have you ever heard that?
No.
It's slang for like when you're lying about something. Like, no cap, bro. Or something. Like, fuck, I probably sound like a 900-year-old person. Like, that's my generation that's doing that shit. And I don't understand it. So, Gen Z needs to be split up into, like, Gen Z A, B, C. Like, it doesn't compute. But,
yeah. People don't fit cleanly into boxes.
Yeah, so, like, it depends on who you're talking to in that culture. Like, we were talking about earlier today at work, we were talking about skateboarding. You go to a skate park up in Wisconsin, where I grew up, and you're my age. Last time I went to a skate park, I was 18, and I went there, and it was full of fucking people with fucking racer scooters. That was the cool shit. They were only like a year younger than me.
Yeah.
But that was the cool shit, and people who were skateboarding were looked down upon. Like,
wow,
well, you fucking
it was
old
the
man.
inverse.
It was fucking weird.
That's so weird.
So fucking weird. I was like, what? Skateboarding? Like, I've never felt so fucking... I've said that twice now. I've never felt so fucking old. You go to a skate park and the cool kids are riding Razor fucking scooters.
Yeah.
What's happening?
I don't know.
Now, like physically right now, I'm so completely out of touch that I don't know what's cool. And it makes me feel so fucking cool.
You know, I encourage you to pursue, if you have the free time and the finances to get started in anything, which sucks because getting started in almost any serious venture costs money. And the cost of entry,
especially during COVID,
sucks.
getting anything done is fucked up.
It makes it so much more challenging. But just try. Go in with like an open and sincere heart, and you'll find the right people. And you know, if you find that the culture isn't receptive, maybe it's something you don't even want to get into anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, you know, if everyone, I'm not even gonna say it. Okay, I'll say it. If your circle of gun owners around you are gatekeeping assholes, do you really want to go to those ranges and shoot? Is it worth something diving into? And it's sad because I feel like a lot of people could develop a really strong passion for anything, and in this example, guns.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think they're really cool. I'm interested. I'm into it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really hard to develop and foster a sincere interest.
Yeah.
When there's no community to support it around you.
Yeah.
When there's no receptive community, and when people are gatekeeping like that, it really hurts their passions too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, be mindful of that. Be receptive.
Where are we at on time?
We have 4 minutes before the hour mark.
Okay, let's start something real quick.
All
I
right.
want to tell my highway squid story.
Yeah, we put this on the back burner for too long.
So, when did that message get sent? Yesterday or the day before yesterday?
I'm confident it was Tuesday.
So it was the day before yesterday. I get on the highway after work, and getting on the highway after my shift is a fucking chore.
Yeah.
Especially on Fridays when we get off an hour early because everybody's getting off at that time. But I get on the highway. Everything's fine for the first quarter mile. And then all of a sudden, it's fucking bumper to bumper. 35 miles an hour. And you go the same direction as
most
me
of the time,
to get
yes.
home. But that day, you weren't. But you know what I'm talking about. Like that exit that we get off on, right? Now, that's what I'm trying to get to. From like the first, starting at like the first half mile. Where you get a half mile into the highway that we're getting on. How far is it till the exit? Like a mile and a half? 2-3 miles?
Yeah, 2 to 3 sounds right.
Yeah. From half a mile on, bumper to bumper, 35 miles an hour. So I'm in the far right lane or far left lane trying to get I'm ready to get in my exit. I don't have to fucking concentrate on, getting over all that shit. I'm just like, I'll just fucking listen to the podcast I'm listening to and go home. Bumper to bumper traffic. But normally when that shit happens, it's either construction or an accident, right?
Yeah.
Because it's an Oklahoma law, you have to move over for flashing lights.
Yep.
So maybe somebody got pulled over, and it could be that. Like, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it could be anything, but most of the time we noodle neck.
Most of the time it's a fucking accident.
And people just slow down to look.
Or
It's
a
fucked
road
up.
closure, an exit closure, whatever. I get up to it. Okay? And you're not going to get it because you're not on TikTok. People who are on TikTok will understand this. So I get up to, like, where it starts. I can see in front of the car in front of me. And I'm like, okay, it's starting to open up. And by the time I get to that spot, I look over to my right. And in the center lane is this crate. Full. With the exception of the fact that it fucking got pulverized. It's a wooden box about, what is this size?
It's about 4 foot.
About 4 foot in length, 2 or 3 feet in
4 and
width,
2,
right?
yeah.
A wooden crate,
Just like a chest.
4x3, yeah, with no top on it, full to the brim, overflowing, with the exception of the fact that it got fucking blasted by somebody's car, with plush TikTok octopuses.
A TikToktopus?
So there's this fad that TikTok
Oh,
where
okay.
these octopuses that when you look at it, it's a happy face, and then you turn it inside out, it's a different octopus, it's a sad face.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay, I've seen those.
Yeah. So they're just overflowing.
I like that you peeked at that.
Overflowing on this highway. Had I realized 30 seconds prior, I would have gotten one because there was one in the shoulder sitting there untouched. I was so close, but I was, when I noticed it, I was legitimately fucking parallel with it. I would not have been able to stop without getting into an accident. But it's just the fucking, like, when the fuck does that happen?
Never.
The fucking, I mean, where do these octopuses come from?
Who's the guy tasked with driving these octopi around?
It wasn't like it was a crate full of a bunch of different stuffed animals.
Just that one specific.
I only saw it for half a second. I know for a fact it was at least the very top of it. It was just these octopuses. Only these fucking octopuses. It was so fucking hilarious. I immediately called my wife. And I was like, you will never, ever understand what I just experienced.
His wife messaged me such a cryptic thing. She
Well-
doesn't message me, period.
Yeah.
She messaged me highway octopus. And I was like, is this code? Am I being activated
Well, I
as
was
a
like,
sleeper agent or
because
something?
normally, because I have Android Auto, I would just tell Google, hey, message so-and-so, Facebook Messenger, this and that. But, like, because I was on the phone and because traffic was so fucked up, the only fucking SOS I sent out was to my wife. I call her immediately when I see this shit. And I was like, you'll never guess what the fuck just happened. We talk about it. She laughs like fucking the most. And then I'm like, can you please send this to the group chat of me and Ben and the editor so that I can remember to tell this on the fucking show because it was ridiculous. And so yeah, she just sends a message. We have two separate group messages in this podcast. We have a message between me, Ben, and Jake that's solely about the show. And then we have a group chat between just me, Ben, and my wife so that my wife can tell us when our takeout is here. And so she sends it to the food group and it just says highway octopus. And I'm like, this is why I fucking married you.
That's such a like, that gives me so much intrigue. Like, you two are the best at making titles. And
Oh yeah, because like fucking I sent here's a fucking tag for, or not a tag, a fucking sizzle reel or whatever, a trailer for sometime in the future when it comes up in conversation. I sent a message to the group chat that just said, my dad pepper spray underwear. And
yeah.
nobody responded directly to it. And I'm not going to tell the story here.
You're going to have to tune in for the next episode.
Maybe the next episode. There's a story that involves my father, police-issued pepper spray, and his personal underpants. And I'm not going to tell it right now.
Papa pepper spray pantaloons.
Pantaloons. That's a good song by 21 Pilot, by the way.
Pantaloons?
Pantaloon.
Like as in singular pantaloon?
It's called The Pantaloon, I think.
That makes me uncomfortable.
Something pantaloon, or just regular pantaloon. You are tired. You are hurt. I'm all fade through your favorite shirt. And now our friends are polarized. The ground you are, lose your mind.
I've never listened to that song.
I like old 21 Pilots.
Well,
I didn't get any of those words right.
it's fine. That'll keep us from getting copyright. Layer 1 of protection
Parody.
against
Yeah,
copyright.
it was a parody.
Yeah.
It just wasn't funny.
I'm not stealing someone's content if I just butcher it. All right.
Are we gonna record another episode?
We probably should.
I'm so fucking jacked, fucking like pumped. I can't just do 1 hour at a time.
All right.
We
Later,
love
guys.
you guys. Bye.